League action this week, and one result we didn't mention in the bulletin there was Club Bruges 1, Monaco 1, as Thierry Henry took charge of his first European match as the new Monaco manager. It ended in a 1-1 draw, as we say. Let's speak to the Belgian football journalist Sven Klaus, a writer for the HLN newspaper. Sven, how did it go for Henry on his return to Belgium on Wednesday?
Good morning. Yes, it was a good result for Thierry Henry. He took his first point also in the group stage. It was a good result, but they could have won. But that was also the case for Club Brugge. So it was an honest result, but both teams deserved to win. They said after the game, but in the end, it was a fine result for both teams.
And this game was being played against the backdrop of some controversy, wasn't it? Because it was just a few days after a Club Bruges coach was questioned in a match-fixing scandal.
To be honest, he wasn't accused for the match fixing, but for money laundering. So some important figures now in Belgian football are being accused from money laundering. Also yesterday, some new players. It's a big case in Belgium nowadays, but yeah. It's good that justice is doing the right things now. So of course it was a bit overshadowed the game, of course, but the fans are very loyal to Ivan Leko, and in the end, I guess he will get a fine, and then we move on.
We mentioned Thierry Henry returning to Belgium. He was, of course, Roberto Martinez's number 2 in the Belgian national side as they finished 3rd at this summer's World Cup in Russia. How well liked and respected is Henry amongst Belgian football fans?
Yeah, he's very respected, of course. Also, with his job during the World Cup, he worked for free for the Belgian national team. So all the money he earned, it wasn't much, but he gave it to charity. Also, before the game, he was very popular, of course, with the selfies and things like that. So he can't do anything wrong anymore in Belgium.
I'm sure a lot of people in Belgium have their selfie with Thierry Henry. And just finally, on the other game in that group, we mentioned it in the bulletin there. What a result. Borussia Dortmund and Atletico Madrid. Dortmund really taking a stranglehold on that group now with a 4-0 victory over Madrid. Hello, Sven. Sven Klaus.
Oh, okay. Oh, was it also a question for me?
Sorry,
yes,
yes.
A surprising result, of course. Nobody expected that Atletico Madrid would lose with those figures, but in the end, we will see now what will happen with Club Brugge and Monaco. They will fight probably for the 3rd place and to stay in Europe after the winter. But Dortmund, really surprising result. And also with Belgian midfielder Axel Witsel, he's doing really fine now, and a bit of a surprise maybe for some people, but he's working very hard. And Dortmund with their fans, 80,000 people in the stands, it's lovely to see.
Good stuff. Sven Klaus, Belgian football journalist from HLN newspaper. Many thanks for your time this morning. 3rd place, as he mentions, in the Champions League group stages does mean you qualify for Europe's secondary competition, the Europa League.
And we've got to seek out as well online, if people haven't seen it, that amazing defence of a free kick in the Inter Milan-Barcelona game. The defender from Croatia, Brozovic, who slide tackles underneath and behind the wall in anticipation of Luis Suarez driving the ball beneath the wall, which jumps, but Brozovic's rear end gets in the way.
It's remarkable. You wonder why people haven't thought of doing this before. Now that we have seen this, how many more are we going to see in the Champions League and elsewhere around the world?
It's going to be very entertaining, I must tell you.
Incredible defender. Thanks very much indeed, Mike Williams, with all your sports news.
Now, let's meet 24-year-old British-Nigerian artist Joy Lambinjo, who is this November will be opening a solo exhibition here in London. She will be exhibiting her work as well at West Africa's biggest art fair, ArtX Lagos. Joy's large-scale paintings explore her British-Nigerian heritage. When visiting her parents' home a few years ago, Joy stumbled across old photo albums she's assembled as a child at the age of 10. And as an artist, she saw these pictures as a way of exploring the relationship between belonging, identity, and culture, as she explained to me.
The works are based on family photographs, but then I changed the backgrounds and some of the compositions, sometimes fusing more than one photograph together, just to create something new and exciting. It was a combination of photographs from Nigeria, England. Some of them were of my parents when they were younger, and then some of the photographs included myself and my siblings. Get the canvas primed, stretched, and just work from the photograph to the canvas.
Your paintings are quite large scale, aren't
Yeah.
they? Why did you choose that particular size?
I find it hard to work on a smaller scale, and I enjoy a challenge, but I think it's also the idea of not being afraid to take up space. They're very present, a bit more powerful, the scale that they are.
How important is your Nigerian heritage to your art?
I started that kind of body of work out of a place of frustration, maybe, from going to exhibitions and looking up